Hello, everyone. It is 6:32 p.m. and I've been told we have quorum, so I'm going to call the August Executive Committee meeting of Manhattan Community Board 2 to order. I am Valerie Della Rosa. I am the chair of Manhattan Community Board 2. And with that, let me get my paper agenda out. As you know, the full board does not meet in August, so we are going to take votes to close out board business for the month of August. This will also include meetings that happened after our last July full board meeting. So with that, can I get an approval of the July 2025 Executive Committee minutes? Are there any changes before I get any motion on the floor to approve? So moved. I have a second. Okay, so we have Susan Kent and Emma. Great. Oh, the chair's report. Right back here at them again. Wonderful. Okay, so as you know, we've had a pretty busy month with over half of our committees meeting during the month of August and at the end of July. Hopefully people that are not in this room are enjoying their time off from board responsibilities, and we wish them well, and we look forward to having everyone back for a robust September calendar. We did get the call, as you know, it comes this time of year for the fund for the City of New York for a planning fellow. I caution on us entertaining that again. I would like to have, and I'm gonna send something out to have interest. They're doing something different this year where September, they've extended the deadline. So September 3rd, they're gonna hold 2 information sessions during the day about how to put a proposal together. What makes a successful proposal? What are the responsibilities? I just don't feel as though what we had this past year yielded much result in new data or information. I think it was really more for the students. I don't think we benefited as much from it. So I hesitated us rushing and then rushing to put together a proposal and then spending committee time on something that is not yielding us anything. It was on affordable housing, and I have people from the land use committee that are here. Do you want to speak to that?
Sure. I wasn't planning on it, but sure. I mean, I think that the work that was done was helpful, but I think I speak for Katie as well, that a lot of the information that ended up being in our report was information that the committee was aware of. So in terms of the substance, maybe there was, I think there's maybe some lessons learned that we can talk about how to maybe use the fellow more effectively so that, this becomes beneficial for CB2, for community board, as well as the committee that's sponsoring the fellow, because I think there was a lot of learning that the student themselves had to do to catch up on. So in some respects, the report was more an amalgamation of things that the student learned about our community and about affordable housing. And I think maybe the net was not as much in favor of the information that was beneficial for the committees.
Yeah, and I like these a combination. It was managed by someone who had not been on the board very long, and that's not any. That's not to say to dissuade from that happening again, but there was just a lot of loose ends on this one, and I hesitate for us to rush to put something together just to have another one. I would much rather have more people attend this information session and to have other people outside of just this main group work on proposals over the next few months that we then have ready to go for the next cycle, to be ahead of the game and kind of take a pause. So I'm interested to hear what people have to say about that.
No, it's interesting because in the past we've had some, and I don't remember them all in detail, but in the past we've had some good ones.
Yes.
They've been very narrow.
Yes.
So I think that dealing with affordable housing is such a complicated landscape that without pre-knowledge.
Yeah,
Jane was referencing, you can't even start.
yeah,
Because you have to educate yourself so much.
Yeah.
But what was interesting in thinking about this, and I had mentioned this to you and to some other people, but I had not mentioned it. Will's committee is a committee that
Yes.
could very much benefit.
yes.
Because you have a very narrow subset, and I know you guys have been having a lot of discussions about certain things, but picking a narrow lane of some of the applications you review, that might be because I think a student might be really interested in like street activity permits, right? Just like the sidewalk, just even a super narrow.
The Wicked, we just investigate the Wicked to come every year.
What?
Wickeds. Remember every year the Wicked.
On Astor
And Astor Place and they.
Right.
Oh, the Witches Fest? Yeah, it's Wicked, it's Wicked, yeah.
You guys have been talking about putting together data, and that might be
Yeah, that's
good.
Yeah, and it is due September 8th, so if,
But I'm not.
again, but that's like a lot, that's a lot to put on, and I'd rather people attend the info session. It's gonna give you ideas of just other things to work on your committees.
When is that again?
It's September 3rd, I'll send it to everyone.
Had one on curb cuts
Yeah,
that I think was something that was very helpful, but not something anybody else could, would undertake, but was very good for a project in a real world, right, of what somebody might engage with.
Janine?
Or something.
I would love to for TNT. I mean, we've historically relied on Shirley Secunda for her memory on all these. I would love to have a digital way of looking at our resolutions, and maybe this is not an intern thing, but like you could click on the intersection of Prince Street and 6th Avenue or Spring Street and 6th Avenue, and you could see that we're hopefully passing a resolution in August 2025, and then you would link to the resolution. So you, I think it just, and it would be either request it or implement it or, perhaps abandoned if that were the case. But I think would be, I'll probably be doing that manually, but it'd just be great to have a tool going forward. So I just want to throw that out as a sort of a wish. So I'm not sure if that's the way to do it or some other way. Thanks.
As a suggestion, Janine, if you had a copy of all the TNT reports, just the committee reports, you'd be able to search it in a minute and you would get a hit on every street name.
I would, but I have looked it as despite
what I'm saying is that it just needs to be pulled out.
New York type project.
Yeah, but I can Google. I can't. This we don't need to take
we have
here.
one person speaking because I can't hear.
Bottom line is, if I Google a resolution, it doesn't come up. Maybe if it comes up if I search 5 different ways, but it doesn't come up.
Well,
So
that's why I was just saying that it's a very quick solution, is taking all the TNT reports, putting them in a folder, and then you just search it. Yeah, do that every month over and over and over for the SLA reports. And you just take all the reports, throw them in a drive and search it. And the office should be able to have all of those because they've been working on it, but it's a very quick.
I can speak about our project. It was very well done. It's kind of that everybody knew those things individually, but getting them all together in a database and with a map was quite useful. It's the sort of thing that's not eternally useful unless it's done every year or indeed kept up monthly. And if we could have somebody on a regular cycle for a few years or have different people even, it would be a useful thing because it's necessarily outdated quickly or is incomplete quickly.
Great, thank you. So I think that's the end of my chair's report for now.
Cool. So it's just on that fellow, that fund for the fellow. That's in one item that's on the chair's report.
Light month, light report.
Yeah, I would say that's the idea that I'd like for more people to attend the info session to learn what makes something productive, because there's things we can do outside of that venue that would be similar, that we could take that, just getting that frame of thinking, what kind of data you need, I think would be good for people. So I'll share that. It's on Zoom. And we'll go to Mark now for the district manager's report.
Okay, thank you. There is an opportunity for a training on parliamentary procedure from the Manhattan Borough President's Office. The trick on this one is that they're hiring an outside vendor to do it. I've already checked to make sure it's not the outside vendor that did such a terrible job for the.
Made mistakes.
Oh, the district managers are having a lot of fun with all the mistakes they made. So it's not that person. And by the way, that person went back to the Civic Engagement Commission and did a focus group and heard the complaints and concerns. And apparently the next time she did the training, it was much better. So let's hope that that continues, iterative learning and knowledge. The trick is that if we sign up and then don't attend and don't complete, then the Borough President's Office is going to charge the board for the price of the pro rata share. So there'll be an opportunity to sign up for this, but only do it if you mean it. Right. Calendar updates, we'll go over those in a minute. And then the other thing that I thought I should bring to your attention is that you may remember I mentioned back in April and May, the EEPC audit, the Equal Employment Protection Commission is auditing the 12 Manhattan community boards. And the purpose of the audit is to make sure that we're all complying with those procedures and with those principles. Although interestingly enough, they never ask about incidents, they only ask about what trainings have you and have you not taken. There's a lot of notes here. The bottom line is that they do an audit after the fact instead of providing a checklist in advance of what you're supposed to do. They promised to do it in 2016. We're still waiting.
It's about on schedule.
We've had 2 audits since then. So we had to fill out since I've been down this particular road before, we preempted a lot of what we anticipated to be their concerns by having a document created, which is our version that attached the borough president's EEO policies, that attached the citywide DCAS policies and so forth, and distributed them to the staff. Valerie edited it and got it together. So when we submitted this, out of 8 categories, we're only found to have corrective action in 2 of them. And one of them is something that none of us had any visibility to, which is apparently now the chair has to take certain trainings that are only open to employees. And so Valerie kindly has taken at least the first couple of them, and we'll make sure that we all finish that. And so we anticipate a hopefully successful resolution to this. With Valerie's help, we submitted a response to the preliminary determination, and then there will be a final determination after that. There'll probably be some sort of monitoring period during which we have to complete the trainings we haven't done yet, and then we'll be good until 2028. And I think that's all you need for now, unless there are any questions. Thank you.
Thanks. Now we'll review the September calendar and the draft calendar. So for the first week, we have Labor Day, SLA 1 and 2 are Tuesday, Thursday. Parks and Waterfront, will you be meeting? I know you guys just had a meeting in August, so will you be meeting?
Yeah, we got it.
September, you got, okay, so I've got, just quickly skip these. So what I've got.
One more agenda item they've asked.
So you had submission for FY 27 district needs. I also did not address that, but clearly everyone will be, and then update on status of licensing agreement for Jefferson Market Garden.
We would like, and there's Parks has asked for installation. It's a art installation they want us to review.
Okay, where is that?
I think it's in
You can give me the exact,
I
just,
think it's, there it's,
and will there be an update from the Jackson Square Friends Group?
well, first off, let me tell you, it's the 50th anniversary of Jackson, of Jefferson Market Garden, I'm sorry. Jefferson Market Garden, that's on the 15th of September.
Mhm.
There's a big party. But what was it? Your real question, will there be an update? I hope so, yes.
Okay. I'll send these to you separately to confirm.
Important milestone, because it also marks the anniversary of taking down the women's jail.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. No, it's here. I'm gonna go. It's gonna be good.
I want to try to go there.
Yeah.
Petrosino Square.
Okay, great. An art installation at Petrosino Square. Okay. And then I would just say, and this is not to pick on anyone, as much as we can before you have an agency present, it would be great to have those materials on the website.
Yeah, I got it for you.
Yeah, so that the public can, it'll expedite any comments that they have. And, you know, we put it up the day up, so it's available during the meeting, but it would just be great to have that there. So you guys will be meeting. Perfect. Okay, so I will send that. I've got your points here.
Yeah, there shouldn't be anything too contentious.
We say that.
Yeah, I know.
And then, street activities on the 8th, outdoor dining working group on the 9th, land use on the 10th. So for land use, and share, it's the resolution on the BSA application, right? Eugene?
That's correct. That's the resolution on the BSA application we heard in August. And I believe there's at least one other variance that is confirmed for September. I think there's one other that we're currently looking to see. So there's possibly 2 other variance applications.
Okay, right, it's 126 Lafayette, and then.
Correct.
Did we hear anything from those other 2? The ones that came in together?
No, that's the one I'm talking about. That is still, I think we're still in the midst of seeing if they are ready to present in September.
Yeah, they haven't provided any materials as of yet.
Exactly.
It's 285 Hudson and some 30 Thompson, is it?
Yeah, that's Surrey Thompson.
Yeah, and we've asked them for materials. They've asked us for a checklist. I gave them the HPV checklist. This is a referral of an MIH, a mandatory inclusionary housing project. And after City of Yes, and one of the things that this board objected to in City of Yes was that they no longer have a specific comment period for community boards. They just are obligated to notify us. So this is the notification.
So I've talked with Eugene and Katie and Mark and I have talked about, we're getting these in pizza, like, hey, we're doing this, we just want to let you know, here's some plans. And then they want to be on the agenda, or they're aggressive about wanting to be on a specific date of an agenda. And so they're working to create kind of like a checklist for the office to send when these come in. And we also, it's the only way that we find out about things since they're as of right. So there's no advisory needed, but it is a place for the community to hear what's happening and for them to potentially take it into consideration in Florida, but they are not required. We're not required to send anything to HP. We're not required. We can notify our elected officials about issues. Let them know. Sorry. I'm gonna mute. Mar, do you have something to say? Hello? Okay, she's muted. Hello? Okay. Anyways, so land use landmarks. So landmarks, we're gonna have a second meeting on the 15th, 277 Canal Street. Do I have that address right? Chenault, we can't hear you.
Sorry, I was on look at thing. Yes, we could, if we shared, I would say, it would be with a 5:30 to 7 meeting, something like that. Um, an hour is not going to be enough. We already have one very large application. And it's very early, even though the meeting's early because of Labor Day in August. And I'm quite surprised at the number we have already. So I think we look forward to two, if we can be full sessions, and if not, one that starts at 7 and is open-ended.
So do we have any cannabis applications? That's the question, Mar or Mark? Do we have any cannabis applications?
My understanding, subject to Mari's better knowledge, is that there's one application that is dead in the water right because it's proximity protected. But they have not as of yet actually withdrawn.
Yeah. So we have one application that came in. Sorry, I'm actually in Metro right now. I have one came in, but my understanding is, and I spoke to the operator, that they're going to withdraw. They're about 120 feet from St. Joe's and also proxed by another dispensary. That's the only application we had for this month. We'll see if she does in fact withdraw. But we definitely want to, I think, weigh in on the current proximity issues. And that's about it.
Okay. Ideally on everyone's agendas so far, meetings we've gone over, you're building in your FY 27 budget discussion. Always good to get those going in September, so that way there's any sense you can tie those up in October if there's anyone you can bring in or information to find out.
Yep.
You can make those recommendations. We'll go over those at the October executive committee. And I'll send out a reminder about that, and Mark will send forward any sort of materials for us to look at from the past. And then we have, so I guess, Mark, I don't think we got this. So I guess it makes sense. We'll keep the 5:30 for landmarks to 7. If cannabis needs to 7, they can take the 7 o'clock. Will that work? I think that's what, and that way, if cannabis goes away, then the 5:30 time is that, and you can move it up if needed. Does that work, Mark?
Yeah, that's fine. Thanks.
Okay, thanks. And then we have executive on the 16th.
Well, I just want to be clear what we
Yes.
said. We would be the second one that evening, right?
You would, I had you as the first one.
That's fine. If that the problem is we have, as usual, we have absolutely no idea. Another.
Okay, so we'll do it. So let's do 7.
I'm okay being 5:30.
Okay, great.
Oh, okay.
Great. Okay, great. And again,
And until when do you anticipate?
We'll be quick.
Okay. Well, we don't have to set this meeting until it's the first Thursday. So we'll check and then we'll set it to begin at whatever you think's a reasonable hour. Obviously, the earlier the better, but
okay,
that can be flexible. That's
Okay,
very
great.
good. Then whatever happens, we'll cope.
okay, great. Thanks. Thank you both. Then we have full board on the 18th, and we have holidays, and then human services on the 25th, schools and ed on the 29th, and traffic and transportation on the 30th. So I know Susanna is not here. I don't think she's online. Is that correct? Okay. So there was talk of wanting to bring in some needs to human services. I didn't get a sense at the full board meeting that there was any appetite to make changes to what had been presented from an operational standpoint, since the documents, let's go to construction documents after. So I just offer that up. I don't know what others think about that, and obviously with as well, and dialogue about this. So just curious as to what this.
I think at the meeting, we kept trying to pull the conversation back to building in front of it. But the pledge.
Did we not ask Mother Stacy directly? Did somebody not ask Mother Stacy directly if she was willing
Yeah, I
to
did.
come back?
I asked if
So-
she wanted to talk about anything, or if there was any future dialogue, and she said, we got this. You know, I mean, like, I'm paraphrasing that, but they said, we're doing what we're doing, trust us as we move forward, and we'll take the input into account. But it's.
She didn't need it.
The other activities are as of right.
Yeah.
And there didn't seem to be an interest in taking into account any of the public commentary, even, and I raised that at the meeting, even from our committee to any historical features, they just felt that what they were doing was right. And I think that there was some confusion that we're trying to get in the way of what they're doing, which I don't think was the case. Just, you know, the historic designation report for that area called this one of the most important Federalist sites before those previous buildings were taken down. So there is an interest in that block, a higher level of interest from historic preservation and review. And so the fact they didn't want to take anything into account was a little.
As someone who's familiar with construction timelines and when drawings of phases of construction, the dialogue for the operational changes that can be made programmatically happen in the springtime. That window was not opened up, unfortunately. So anyways, I'll continue to have that conversation and getting that agenda solidified. I just wanted to hear from this group.
It seemed that like, from what I've understood, it seemed that there is an interest in telling people what they're doing, not in a dialogue.
Yes.
About what's happening.
Yes, yes.
And that's a distinct difference, and that is not our responsibility to host a forum for them to tell everybody what they're doing. They can do that on their own. There's many avenues to do that.
Which she has said many times that she's willing to.
Right. The distinction I'm making is it's not a
Yes,
dialogue.
that's correct.
Generally, when the board participates in something, it's because there's a dialogue for an as-of-right project.
You can ask Travis. You can ask Travis. She hired him.
So I think they have a website.
Yeah, there's an FAQ, yeah. But there's still a lot of questions. There's still a lot of
No.
questions. I know.
I'm not saying there's not, just saying if it's a dialogue, that seems what we do.
You're right.
Versus telling us
Yeah.
what we're doing.
Yeah.
You're right.
I think that's, and then on, for schools and ed, is Patricia on?
Yes. Hi. We're gonna have Superintendent Kelly McGuire come back to present. We usually have him present yearly. So that's what's on the agenda.
Yes, you've got that. Yeah, I've got, it's back to school. Welcome back. Superintendent Kelly McGuire, meet the new CEC members and CEC representatives. Is that?
Yeah, that's,
Okay.
yeah.
Perfect. That's what I've got. And I'll just loop an email and make sure that's all set. Thank you for that. And then, what else? Oh, traffic and transportation. What I had from the 6-month plan was a presentation and analysis by a traffic expert. I'm not sure from who that is or what organization, and a discussion of curbside micro hubs, what works and what needs work on the DOT pilots. And I'm happy to send this to you offline.
Yeah, I'll follow up offline.
Okay, great, perfect.
I don't know if they've even had the results of that.
Okay. Great. And other than that, okay, and then the future calendars, take a look at October.
Yeah.
That, it's a lot happening, a lot going on. Very quickly, and Janine's just reminded me, we are meeting with, DOT is hosting, starting a dialogue with us on a street improvement project. Is that what the SIP is? Street improvement project on Canal Street. So with CB1, CB2, CB3. So we are doing an initial call on that this week. Forgot to mention that in my chair's report. So let's go to, now that we're done with the calendar, no other changes. Thank you all for talking that through. I didn't want to put up the slides this month because we have business to vote on. So let's go to standing committee reports and resolutions for executive committee vote. So we have traffic and transportation and then landmarks.
Okay.
The first two.
Traffic and transportation had 3 resolutions. The first one is resolution in opposition to criminal summons for cyclists for minor traffic violations. And therefore be it resolved that Community Board 2 calls on the NYPD to immediately end the policy of issuing criminal court summonses to cyclists. Whoops, it shouldn't say low level traffic violations. That was removed. And that's it.
So you can send in that correction.
Yeah, I'll send that in. I'm gonna actually pull up my file now because I'm realizing this isn't the final one. So just give me a moment. Okay, I will send that in. That's the first resolution. The second resolution is in support of safety improvements at the 6th Avenue and Spring Street intersection. And basically you can see the problem with the graphic. Therefore be it resolved that CB2 requests that the New York City Department of Transportation consider installing a split phase light with a dedicated left turn signal, as well as study other ways to improve pedestrian, cyclist, bus, and car safety at the Spring Street and 6th Avenue intersection, and encourages the NYC DOT to coordinate all safety improvements at Spring Street and 6th Avenue into the plaza design at Little 6th Avenue. And that was unanimous as well. The third resolution is resolution in support of safety improvements on Lafayette Street at the T intersection of Jersey Street. And therefore be it resolved, CB2 requests that the New York City Department of Transportation study ways to improve pedestrian and cyclist safety at the intersection of Lafayette and Jersey Streets, and to include this as part of its study of improvements to the Lafayette Street bike lane as supported in CB2's April 2025 resolution, and encourages the New York City DOT to study options to pedestrianize Jersey Street between Crosby and Lafayette Streets and Lafayette and Mulberry Streets. And that was also unanimous. Any questions or comments?
The first item needs a vote put in.
Oh,
Yeah, and this is not to
I'm
pick,
sorry, the first one was unanimous.
okay, and not to pick on, because this is an email I've been meaning to send out.
Yeah.
Just a reminder that you want to have your public member votes separately. You're not picking, I just.
Got it. I'll add
This
that.
out, just from.
I'll add that.
So so you have like the.
Yeah, I'll add them. We had
And
2
that's
public members
public.
in person, 2 public members. And so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. Yeah, so it would be 8-0 and 2-0 for all the votes.
Yeah.
And I will add that in.
I meant to send that out at the end of the month and then. Okay, so with that, thank you, Jane. So is there any hesitation to vote on traffic and transportation resolutions 1 through 3? Okay, so, great, so we have 3 items for traffic and transportation. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions, recusals. Okay, those pass. Yeah,
And when you're sending me whatever it is you send me, could you also give me your thoughts on whom I should send the first resolution. The second and the third obviously go to DOT.
Okay,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Gene, just before we leave, you know that construction at the top of the park there on Spring?
Yeah,
Is that-
that's the subway, that's the elevator.
Got it, yeah. I just wondered, yeah, I think it's getting close.
Yeah, I think it's getting close. It'll be interesting because it's mentioned in the reso. There'll be 3, if you're going southbound, you'll have 3 ways to enter, and if there'll be 3 exits, but only 1 on the northbound side.
They,
great, thank you. So those passed unanimously. So now we have landmarks. Alt.
Okay. We did not have a quorum, and this expresses unanimous views of the people that were there. 96 Bank Street, to renovate the rear facade and reconfigure windows. Approval of the historic design of the windows at the second and third floors and replacement of existing side windows and the brick cladding of a historic design. Denial of the non-historic short parlor floor windows and that they be of historic length to preserve the historic character of the house that is otherwise an exemplary in the proposed design. 394 West Broadway, establish a master plan for wall sign. This one's quite unusual in that it's allowed to violate the current rules because they're repainting an existing one that was before the current rules. Approval of the repainting of the existing sign from before designation which does not conform to the existing regulations with respect to size, placement, lack of a border, and proximity to another wall sign, and that this variance is understood to be granted for the repainting of an existing sign and not to be considered as precedent for other painted wall signs in the district. 2729 Great Jones Street, to replace the sidewalk. Recommend denial of the application unless the surface is in granite matching the existing material. 524 Broadway. Alter the non-historic canopy at the Broadway retail entrance and install halo lit signage. Recommend approval of the black cladding with halo lettering on the existing canopy. 452 Broadway. Legalize signage installed without approval of the Landmarks Commission is incorrectly here. And I would ask the secretary to correct it. It was laid over and we didn't get the word in time. So
Number 5 was laid over?
The what?
I'm sorry, number 5
Yes.
agenda item was laid
It should
over?
just be laid over and there is no text following it.
There's no recommendation of denial for number 5 at 452 Broadway, is that correct?
No, it should follow the laid over that you see in number 6 as far as the copy.
So you did not, okay.
Yeah, so the last 3 are laid over, in fact.
Okay, so we need to delete the application, okay. Oh, okay, I see it there, I see it. Okay.
Delete
So there's no
paragraphs.
recommendation of denial then? Correct? Okay. Okay. Okay, great, thank you, Chenault. So we have 4 items to vote on then? Yes. We have 4 items to vote on for landmarks. Does anyone have any questions about any of the applications? Is there any unwillingness to vote on landmarks items 1 through 4? With 3 laid over. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Recusals? Okay, landmarks items 1 through 4 passed unanimously. Next, we have street activities.
Sure. So it was not at all a slow month for us, extremely busy in the summer, heart of the summer into early fall season with events. 21 regular way applications and 10 FYIs. So number 1, August 9th to 10th, KBR in Complex New York store, 620 Broadway, partial sidewalk closure. That was unanimous approval. Number 2, August 11th, Are You Okay? Ex Kava Claw Machine, spring between Elizabeth and Mulberry, partial sidewalk closure. That was unanimous with 1 refusal, with Spiegel having the applicant being clients of his employer. 3, August 14th, Van Leeuwen ice cream truck pop-up, Astor between Broadway and Lafayette, curb lane only. That was a unanimous approval with 1 recusal, Olson, Guinness parent company being a client of the business. For August 16th, YSL small pop-up, Mercer between Prince and Spring, sidewalk and curb lane. That was a recommended denial. Again, with one recusal, Olson with YSL parent being client of a business. 5, August 17th. This is the Kith or K Fashion Week 25 fashion show. This was a full street Lafayette between Bleecker and Bond. This was a recommended deny, unanimous. This one was unbelievably well planned in terms of what they presented to us. It was like a 40-page document. But we are continuing to take a stance against the disruption of major thoroughfares like Lafayette for commercial events. Number 6, August 21st, 22nd, Coco's Corner Store. Elizabeth between Prince and Spring, that was a partial sidewalk closure. That was a unanimous deny with one abstention. We did follow up with them after, and they did agree to add a couple more people to monitor the line. So hopefully that goes okay. That's coming up. Number 7, August 21st, Adidas Y3 store event, Howard between Crosby and Lafayette, sidewalk and curb lane, unanimous deny. That was a no-show. Number 8, O positive activation, August 23rd, Gansevoort Pedestrian Plaza. That was a unanimous approve. Number 9, August 23rd, Groundworks opening, Kenmare between Cleveland and Mulberry. This is not actually full street closure. It's just a partial sidewalk, and that was unanimous approve. Definitely not close the street there. Number 10, August 25th, Cubby pop-up, 5th Ave between 12th and 13th Streets, partial sidewalk. That was unanimous. I know show. Number 11, August 29th to 31st, group store, merchandise promotion, spawn between Bowery and Lafayette, curb lane. That was unanimous. Deny no show. Number 12, September 5th to 7th, Prada newsstand, Washington Square North between 5th Avenue University Place, partial sidewalk and curb lane. Unanimous unanimous approved with one recusal, Olson with Prada parent company being a client. Number 13, September 6th, Crosby Street block party, Crosby between Broome and Grand Street, street closure. Actually not a formal block party application. It was a street event large because it is a commercial event actually. But anyway, that was unanimous deny no show. Number 14, September 10th, Libertine S26 fashion show. This was just to have a partial curb lane closure for a generator. That was unanimous approved. Number 15, Feast of San Gennaro. They did not show, which was very disappointing. We don't normally lay over no shows, but we have a lot of issues and questions we want to talk to them about. So we're going to ask them to come next month. And we're going to work with the office to try to get in touch and make sure someone shows up. That was unanimous. Number 16, September 13th, neighborhood block party, Leroy Street. They were actually here, but had to go because they were physically in Europe and it was super late and we didn't realize that. So we agreed to have them come next month because they did try to show up. That was unanimous. Number 17, September 13th, Revlon makeup bus, Broadway between Broome and Spring. That was a no-show, unanimous deny. Number 18, tier glass truck, 575 Broadway, September 13th, Broadway between Prince and West Houston, curb lane. That was unanimous approved. Number 19, September 14th, Cherry Lane Theater block party. That's a full street closure. Again, it's not technically a block party. It's a single block festival. That was a unanimous approved. Number 20, Revlon Beauty Bus, September 14th. That was a no-show deny. That was curb lane north, Broome between Broadway and Crosby. Unanimous no-show deny. 21, September 21st, Il Buco Pig Roast, Bond between Bowery and Lafayette, full street closure. That was unanimous approved. In the FYIs, there was one that was listed in the system as a renewal that did not come before us last year, and people wanted to hear that. So that's the Purple Brand Fashion Week, September 12th. So we're asking them to come next month. That was unanimous approved. 23 through 30 were unanimous approved, and 31 is a CB2 event, so we did not go with those. A lot of stuff.
Did the number 5 take place? Even though you.
Yes, yes. We heard all things considered, it went fairly smoothly, at least that's what I heard.
So it's a KIF event?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Police department absolutely didn't want it. They told me that they're one of
The 5th precinct?
the 9th precinct. One of the things that they did say was that they wanted a full complement of support from the NYPD that's also done for open Summer Street. They were granted, so it was a tremendous presence of traffic agents in the area. I mean, beyond, I don't know what they paid for the permit, but it seemed there was a massive thunderstorm.
Oh, yeah.
That was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
It happened afterwards.
I remember that, yeah.
But it totally shut, it was a Sunday and it was slower in the summer, but it totally shut down a number of square blocks completely.
The day after Summer Streets.
Yeah, the day after Summer Streets. So was it well run? Yeah, but is the resources shutting down the street? And also, I personally tried to watch part of it. I was told I couldn't stop. I had to.
You can stop where? On where?
On the sidewalk by the security guards. It was a little, and which was not what
No, it's not.
what they said. And there was an overwhelming of can't be here. They redacted all the information before they came to us or on our website. So this was another
You can
secret.
see that it was.
So that it's kind of not, it's an overwhelming type of activity that while a particular day went well, I just don't think our community can sustain.
Now, in their materials,
Those types of events.
the materials were very thorough. I attended, and they had a list when they contacted, but what they failed to realize on the tour is that there are 2 open streets different than the summer streets of where businesses have, where there are restaurants that have seating in the roadway, and they were not notified of all the people that were notified that would impact their business. And so one of the things I'd like to do to mitigate that I've discussed with Will and Mark is in these instances, these are in the instances of NoHo, we should have our NoHo bid representative be notified to kind of flag these issues on the tour. And then same with Soho, we would want maybe Susan Wittenberg. And again, these are also 2 board members that are our board reps on those bid boards, but are also highly engaged in what's happening. Feedback that was such as that they were telling you to move off the sidewalk. So
The other thing, the bus route was rerouted. The other thing was that the couple of businesses that are right there on Lafayette, the Van Bakery and
Really? Oh, it's that block. Yeah.
like that, that's insane to have this big event and you don't let it keep moving and this imposition.
people sit on the public bench and eat
Yeah.
tacos,
Everything, but that's not a particularly great feeling.
Last week.
It's very privatized,
Yeah.
space, I think.
Okay, so we have 29 to vote on, right? 22 the number 22 is laid over, and then it's 21 to vote on, and then 23 through 30 FYI renewals. Correct?
We laid over 2, we laid over San Gennaro, and we laid over one of the block parties.
Oh, okay, so then we have 28 to vote on.
Yeah.
So we're what number is San Gennaro?
15 and 16
15 and 16?
and 22 and 31.
Okay, so 1 through 14, 17 through 21, and then the rest.
3 to 30. And I would also just add, we continue to try to address the pop-up issue, particularly in Soho and Nolita. If anyone has any ideas on how to address that, all ears. There are actually companies out there that literally just own a bunch of different spaces and only rent them out for like short pop-ups that typically have a lot of hype and generate massive lines. And some of them come before us, some of them don't. And it's a little tricky with where, we think they should all apply for sidewalk closures for lines. Some people say there's a right to have a line outside their store. So anyway, any ideas, we're open.
And a line outside crosses many different committees, as you can imagine. So I'd like to thank Will and Erica for their leadership on this issue. We'll also put them in touch with Chris Marte's office on talking, since a lot of those happen in his district. So, okay. So if there's no unwillingness to vote, we have street activities items 1 through 14, 17 through 21, and 23 through 30 to vote on. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Recusals?
Recuse on number 8. I'm a voting member of the meatpacking.
Okay, so one recusal by Donna Raftery because she is on the meatpacking bid as a resident board member, so she votes.
So, yeah.
Okay, great. So those passed unanimously. So next we have SLA 1 and 2.
Okay, SLA 1, let's see, 20 resolutions, items 21 to 29 are laid over or withdrawals, and all the decisions were unanimous. HHLP, Union Square, Associates, etc., Bowery Road, Library of Distilled Spirits, 76 East 13th Street. This is an alteration to on-premise hotel. They're just moving the bar, no change in seating. That was deny unless. Leukemia LLC, 247 Elizabeth Street, Tavern Wine, previously unlicensed location, deny unless. WS Hotel LLC, 101-105 Waverly Place. This is a new on-premise for a hotel. It's a transfer. This is denied unless. The Mercer One LLC and Sartiano Steakhouse Management LLC doing business as the Mercer at 147 Mercer Street. This is an alteration to an on-premise restaurant license to add sidewalk seating, deny unless. Merck City LLC at 10 Fifth Avenue. This is a Tavern Wine for Cafe, deny unless. Michael G. Finelli, Inc. doing business as Finelli's at 94 Prince Street. It's an on-premise tavern. This is an alteration to add sidewalk seating. This was a denial. Elmer Kennedy LLC, doing business as Pasquale Jones at 86 Kenmare Street. This is a class change to an on-premise for a restaurant. That was a denial. The Stone Rabbit LLC, 4-6 Bleecker Street. This is an on-premise for a tavern. That was also a denial. All denials were in here. 130 Bowery Hospitality, IZ LLC, doing business as Capital at 130 Bowery. This is an on-premise for a restaurant. It's a transfer, deny unless. Chinese Trend Buffet Hot Pot LLC, doing business as Easy Joy Buffet Dim Sum Hot Pot, 145 Mulberry Street. Restaurant wine application, deny unless. Sam SWPK LLC, doing business as Sem, 417 Lafayette Street. Restaurant wine application, deny unless. Lunella Ristorante, doing business as Lunella Ristorante at 173 Mulberry Street. This is an alteration to add roadway seating, deny unless their appearance was waived. Cantaloupe LLC, doing business as Lovely Day at 196 Elizabeth Street. This was an alteration to add sidewalk and roadway seating, deny unless. Front Inc. doing business as Mother's Ruin at 18 Spring Street. This was an alteration to add sidewalk and roadway seating, deny unless. Timoni Inc. doing business as Trade Giovanni, 548 LaGuardia. This was an alteration to add sidewalk, deny unless. 14 Spring Cafe LLC, doing business as Rin Tin Tin at 14 Spring Street. Alteration to add sidewalk, deny unless. Luminosity LLC, doing business as Jack's Wife Frida, 226 Lafayette Street. Alteration to add sidewalk, deny unless. WLLC, doing business as the Woolly at 390 Broome Street. This was an alteration to add sidewalk, deny unless. St. Jude Enterprises LLC, doing business as Benito 1 at 174 Mulberry Street. Alteration to add roadway, deny unless. Hakeem Hospitality, doing business as Leon's at 817 Broadway. Alteration to add sidewalk, deny unless. And then we're at items 21 through 29 are either layovers or withdrawals.
We have 20 items to vote on. Yeah.
Yes. Number 3, the Washington Square Hotel.
Yes.
You see they were sold yesterday?
So change of operation.
Yeah,
So it's changed.
sold it, she sold it.
She
yesterday.
sold it, yeah, that's what this was
That
for.
was this is-
That's what this is for.
Trying to
And they came
see-
for the restaurant
Okay,
too.
all right, I,
Last month they came for the restaurant part, and this month this is for the hotel. So that's why it's a transfer.
For the
okay, all right,
transfer.
I get it, all right. It's not the
Uh,
transfer, all right, got it. Because Judy.
Judy, yeah.
She got the other 50% one.
Yeah, she got the other 50% back, and then it seemed to take a long time for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Did not see that.
And we got a known operator,
Yes.
purchased a hotel who also owns the Marlton.
Oh, is that who it is? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
It was a lot of money, and I
The
was joking with all the Europeans not traveling here anymore. How are they gonna cover that?
And I think she had said she came when
Oh, good.
the restaurant transfer, Judy came, and she had
Yeah.
said she really searched out them to.
Oh, that's good.
divested the Jane
That's great.
oh,
hotel and
Right,
added
now
this.
added this.
That's great. That's great. Good for Judy. If she wanted out.
okay. So well,
So on item 6 is the gist of it, that's the finale.
Which one is-
Finale.
Finale, yeah.
Is it basically that those platforms, you're not allowed to put seats on them under the rules, and that's.
that's the rule. That's in the rules, yeah.
And then the other thing is everything else that's in there, it's like, there's no edge on it, there's no lip on it,
Yeah.
somebody falls off and cracks their head open.
The,
More
Way to say
importantly,
it. And
is how it is doesn't seem safe. And the city's provided no
Yeah.
on these situations. And at what point is something safe and not safe? So for
Well-
example, we have loading docks that are all throughout the area that are the same way that are there. We have all kinds of different platforms. So if there's going to be addressing them, there should be some guidance around them.
Right.
And that includes, in this landmark district, it includes putting railings on things. It's like a lot of little things, but that's
how they'll.
Yes, and on Prince Street, New York City DOT's pedestrian mobility plan has that as a global corridor requiring a 12-foot
and
stair path. So when we had discussed this in the other committee, but clearly it's become a very legendary place for its seating outside during the pandemic, and it's hard to separate that, but there are, when it came before the Outdoor Dining Working Group Committee, the attorney who was brought on very quickly to it had said that they're allowed to do it, they're grandfathered in, which completely makes the application for the revocable right of consent moot, because then it's not on public, that, so.
So what do you think they'll do?
I don't know. They'll probably go to the SLA. But they really should.
Well, the issue is that there's a discrepancy between the liquor authority and the city.
Yeah.
The liquor authority has been very clear to the city, hey, you have your things, we have our things.
Yeah, that's
And when
right.
they come to us, we're gonna talk about them. And I think the city didn't take input from the liquor authority on some things, and I don't think it's unreasonable what we've asked DOT, but they've not been responsive.
Yeah, it's not safe.
And they've also not responded on ADA issues, and there's a lot of, but a part of that is because perhaps the law needs to be revisited and some clarity put in. And one of our biggest issues at the time was the one size fits all.
Yeah.
And that keeps coming up again and again, and there was no in place for exceptions or any guidance or procedures or whatever it is. And, we verbally been told, oh, they said it was okay, and there's nothing in writing. And
Another agency is taking leadership on it. The Department of Health and Mental Hygiene is taking the lead on requiring aisle space for dogs in cafes. But DOT is not for
They don't want them.
people in ADA. So
I will say, I did go by one place in meatpacking that did have the ramp, that does have a railing, that had 2 tables up on it. It's an elevated place, but there's a ramp going up to it, so it's ADA accessible. I'm like, this is ADA accessible. The railing is there. There's enough room for somebody to walk, like wait staff or the person, if they're grabbing their pizza, can walk out and get to the table. And I guess the only thing that probably isn't met is obviously the clear path on the sidewalk because the ramp is taking up a certain amount of it, but
I think that's partially inset, the picture is partially inset into
inset.
private property.
maybe,
Yeah.
maybe, yeah, part of it,
So-
part, but I don't know, think the whole ramp
But
is
no, I'm,
a part, but little elements. Anyway, that one, I was like, yes, there's seating and there's a ramp and people can get to it. I was very pleased.
Okay, so
Lots of small things.
So for SLA one, we have items 1 through 20 to vote on, and then 21 through 29 are layover. So is there, 20 items for SLA one? Is there any unwillingness to vote on SLA items 1 through 20? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Recusals? Pass. SLA two, and then we have parks.
Okay,
Business.
SLA two, we had 21 resolutions and items 22 to 28 layovers withdrawals. And all the decisions were unanimous. Zandra Hospitality LLC doing business as Caven. This is a change in the method of operation to open earlier, deny unless. Mahaniam Inc. doing business as Home Molly, 28 7th Avenue. This is an on-premise for a restaurant, deny unless. 37 Hospitality Group Inc. at 120 Christopher, it's an on-premise for a restaurant, deny unless. Slice House, doing business as Slice House at 30 Common Street, this is a restaurant wine, that was a denial. Happy Cooking LLC doing business as Joseph Leonard at 170 Waverly Place. This is an alteration on the interior to change the seating. That was a denial. George Marcel doing business as Fairfax, 234 West 4th Street. This was again an alteration to change the interior seating. That was a denial. Penmanship LLC doing business as Jeffrey's Grocery at 172 Waverly. This was an alteration to change the interior seating. That was a denial. Rivalmo Partners LLC doing business as Bar V, 1012 Morton Street. This was a class change to upgrade to an on-premise restaurant, also a change of method of operation to extend hours, alteration to add sidewalk seating. That was a denial. Tucko 94U LLC, 94 University Place, on-premise for a restaurant, deny unless. DC Hudson Inc., 290 Hudson Street, this on-premise for a restaurant, deny unless. DC Spring at 286 Spring Street, on-premise bar tavern. That's a transfer, and that was deny unless. Serafina Meatpacking LLC at 7 9th Avenue. This was an alteration to add sidewalk seating, deny unless. Sapphire New York Hotel, Propco LLC in Delano, US Co LLC is manager, 246 Spring Street. This was a transfer, on-premise restaurant and hotel, deny unless. Happy Cooking LLC doing business as Joseph Leonard, 170 Waverly Place, alteration to add the sidewalk seating, deny. George Marcel doing business as Fairfax, 234 West 4th Street, on premise. Oh, this was alteration for sidewalk and roadway. That was a denial. Penmanship LLC doing business as Jeffrey's Grocery at 172 Waverly Place. That was an alteration to add sidewalk, denial. Devil Foods LLC and SAJ Hospitality doing business as Due West at 189 West 10th Street, alteration to add sidewalk, deny unless. Take Me to the River, 22 LLC doing business as Pearl at 22 Greenwich Avenue, alteration to add sidewalk, deny unless. Naive Melody, 24 LLC doing business as Marianne's, 24 Greenwich Avenue, alteration to add sidewalk, deny unless. Newstead Restaurant LLC doing business as Left Bank at 117 Perry Street, alteration to add roadway, deny unless. Giuliani Group doing business as Lalico Stories of Georgia at 80 Carmine Street, alteration to add sidewalk, deny unless. And then items 22 to 28 are either laid over or withdrawn.
Sorry, can I ask a
Go
question?
ahead, yeah.
So the three denials, there were there was like two different denials
Yeah, so-
from three separate
Yeah,
applicants?
so there was an alteration for the interior, so that was one notice,
Mhm.
which is separate from the alteration to add the sidewalk seating, which is a municipal expansion.
And I guess what were the issues with the interior change?
Well, the interior change was really just that there weren't really issues. They were given us stipulations and they didn't have any issues with the stipulations other than they didn't want to sign them. And I found that out this morning. And So,
So the stipulation,
So the
to be clear, and memorialize what they said they did.
right, right,
So,
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's all. I mean, it wasn't, and it was memorializing they didn't have any issue with the stipulations. They just, on principle, didn't want to sign them.
Was that the same? So the same with the sidewalk too?
No, so with the sidewalk is different. The
Okay.
sidewalk we denied because they were asking everybody who did not have sidewalk seating before to close at 10 o'clock. And then they can always come back once, you know, we've kind of gotten through this initial batch. They were in a residential areas. And they wouldn't agree to the 10 o'clock. So that's the same thing we've been doing to everybody else in this situation.
Okay, that makes sense.
Are folks coming back in that second batch? Or I guess maybe it hasn't been
Not
long
yet, it
enough.
hasn't
Yeah,
been
yeah,
long
yeah.
enough. I mean, I would discourage them from personally from coming back
Yeah.
because we're still rolling everybody out. So you, and people are not,
So we wanna wait
half
for
of it
that.
too is seeing
Yeah.
what it really looks like when people start actually complying and all of that.
Yeah.
So that everybody realizes it may not be, it's not what it was all
Yeah.
during the pandemic, and then it can just really be evaluated.
Yeah.
So no, and a lot of the people are just agreeing to the 10 o'clock, as, you know, so.
And there's still
Thank you.
changes being made by DOT.
Right.
To some of the places, some more late applying, to some new places.
Well, when they're opening, and then I guess DOT is going back a month later and checking them and making things and things, so.
Yeah. Okay, so any other questions? So for SLA2, we have items 1 through 21 to vote on, and then 22 through 28 are layovers. So there's not any unwillingness to vote on items 1 through 21. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Recusals? It's passed unanimously. And next we have parks.
Okay, this was we usually don't meet in August, but the Parks Department of Parks and Recreation asked us to hold this meeting. Commissioner Shimamura asked us to write, to consider support for a request she made. And so she gave some context. She talked about a series of projects in that area around what she's calling the Clarkson Corridor. She described 160 million in city funding, 100,000 square feet of recreation space that would be developed. There are a lot of notes around this because I thought it was important to capture all this.
It's really great.
Thanks, ChatGPT. And it turned out the mayor announced the initiative the next day, which I was not aware of that the night of Wednesday, but on Thursday, Mayor Adams announced this 160 million in city funding to build out a whole series of projects. There was one gap in that. And that gap was the space at James J.J. Walker DU Park, that's east of Ray Pagan Ball Field. We renamed the ball field. So it's the area between that and basically the herring wall, the mural. So there's a playground there, there's a walking area, there are benches, there are trees, and there's a bocce ball court, and there's the now pickleball court. And I never knew this, never recognized this. There is a memorial there, the oldest memorial in a city park in Manhattan to fallen firefighters long ago. I went over the other day. Very cool. I'd never seen it. Been in that park a million times. It's on the St. Luke's Place. So she said, look, we want to improve this area. It hasn't, the field was updated 10 years ago. This area hasn't been updated in 30 years. The playground is beloved, but it's dangerous. The water spray thing doesn't work. What they asked was that we would ask the Open Space Fund for Hudson Square for the money that was put in that. Now, a little bit of background, a little context. In 2013, when the Hudson Square was rezoned, there was a charge put on all the new residential space that was built. It was $5 a square foot. And that would go into a pot of money that would be managed or overseen by the Hudson Square bid. Janine, jump in if I say anything that's wrong. And
actually, it was going to be collected by Parks, and after the rezoning, at some point, several years later, the Hudson Square bid was assigned to manage it.
So The
Yeah,
money's
just a
going
new,
in there.
it's not their money, just to be
Right,
specific.
right. That's right. Money's been piling in there. It's up to about 7 million now. There'll be more added as more buildings are converted or built. So a million of it was allocated to the Hudson Plaza, sorry. And they asked, could we use the remainder of it for this purpose? And so that's what the resolution covers. If the idea was, if we say yes, then they go make a request to Hudson Square bid. There are no other projects that we're aware of that have been requesting this money. And then at that point, with that money in hand, they would start the process of, doing the community design that's done when a park's being renovated. So that was it. There are a lot more color on that, but that was the gist of the conversation.
Yeah.
We said yes.
So we have one resolution from Parks.
Yeah, long way. It's gonna be 3+ years. So a lot of design to come. But
One resolution to vote on, supporting the Department of Parks and Rec request to utilize it as a open space fund for financing improvements to the Walker playground, features JJ Walker Park. Is there any unwillingness to vote on Parks?
I have a question, please. Am I correct that, without getting the map out, this is all outside of the landmark district? That it's just the buildings along there that are.
I believe that's right. Yes, along Varick. Yes.
That was my memory from.
Yes, I think you're right. It's the district.
It's only the center itself that's fit.
Right. Yes, that's exactly right. Yes. You're right.
Added in.
You're exactly right. Yes, Susan's right. Yes.
All right, is there any unwillingness to vote on Parks agenda item resolution as stated previously? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions, recusals? That passes unanimously. Thank you.
Can I make one
Yes.
comment on this? Just for landmarks. There was a call after, maybe you're aware. I don't want to hide this. I want to make sure it's discussed. At the committee, Parks Department was very clear. I made sure she repeated it. I wrote her a note. You've got to be adamant about this, that the city's plan, Mayor Adams' plan, the money allocated for Dapolito Center was for just knocking it down, demolition. Yeah. I can't think of words. Demolition, yes. And so, thank you. And so that is a landmarks discussion. The Parks Department has said they would hire a consultant, you remember, to look at what could be salvaged. Councilmember Botcher is writing a letter. I haven't seen it yet. He's told me they're writing a letter that he wants to make sure that study is done to see what can be salvaged from it, whether it's the facade, whether it's the tower part or whatever, so separate topic, but Councilmember Botcher, I think you know this, was getting a lot of pressure. So he wants clarification on that, and that anything that's done to that building is a landmarks decision, a landmarks committee decision.
Yeah, and we can certainly reiterate our position on that.
Yeah.
And ensuring that.
Just the second, yeah. The other point, I asked about 388, wanted to make sure they got a bunch of bids back. They say they're all the bids that are, there were quite a few. There was a great amount of interest in bidding on it. There were a lot of bids received. I'm told that all of them included the requested rec center features. But that's all they would do. Because I was concerned that it would come back and they'd say, oh, sorry, we couldn't get it, we need more money from the city, but that's not what's concerned.
Okay. Great.
So the corridor is Hudson House and Plaza, 388, that, all the way across the same.
And they presented like a deck at the meeting.
Yep.
Can we have that put up on the website
Yeah, I'll ask her.
Okay, that'd be great.
160 million, 100,000 square feet.
Okay. Just, I know there's a slide I saw and the.
Yeah.
and-
I'll ask her,
Okay,
yeah.
I'll update the thing and I'll send it. It should go this tomorrow.
okay, great. And then, are there any other questions on that topic before I move on to the next?
Yes.
And so this proposal doesn't touch any of the other parts that are under discussion, like the mural and
No.
and the thing, right? Okay.
No, this is just for the walking area, the trees, the benches, the playground. They're calling it, if you hear it referred to as the J.J. Walker Playground, it's just the features outside of the center and outside of the herring mural, outside of the pool,
Brian, do you have a
and
question?
outside of the library.
Well, yeah, we moved on from number 1 to number 2.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What?
You were talking about, they stated that money was going to be used for demolition of Dapalita Center. And you had
Oh, yeah,
verified it and blah, 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 blah. At the end of that particular section.
Yeah.
In business session, at the end of the meeting, our committee discussed and passed a resolution in support of DPR's request for use.
of the open square fund.
But all of this is about the Dapalita Center.
No, it's,
Number 2 is the update on progress,
yes.
including a Dapalita Center.
Yeah, but the resolution specific to their request.
Resolution specific to their request, including $51.8 million to demolish Dapalita.
No, the resolution is very specifically in the request to rebuild and renovate the playground area.
Resolution.
The actual resolution.
Which resolution? Resolution starts
Okay,
at page 7.
resolution is dealing with all 3 of those previously categorized topics.
No, the resolution just
So to be
deals.
clear, we did vote on this. So are we still wanting to continue this discussion? We did take the vote on this, did we not?
No.
Did we not?
Yeah, we did.
We did.
Well,
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to, I'm not,
okay, you're right.
I just want to,
I understood that we
Okay.
were voting only on number 1 for the.
no, we were voting on, no,
Space
no,
between-
we were voting on the resolution that starts on page.
That's
Those are not
totally
resolutions.
not-
The resolution only relates to their request for the open space plan. Has nothing to do. I just,
Sorry, I may have
No,
said
I
number
just-
1, and what I meant was the resolution.
it's the resolution.
Oh,
There is no resolution.
absolutely not.
No resolution for 2, 3, or there's no resolution for point 2.
Well, it's
Just a
the
note.
rest. All right, I'm sorry, we did not very clearly read that resolution. Applauds DPR for breaking new ground by working with. That is totally whitewash. I see nothing to support here. They're going about
Does somebody want to make
destroying
a,
that area.
right, so we did vote on this, however, so does somebody want to make a motion to reopen the vote?
Yes,
That's what you have to do.
So, do I have a second on the floor to reopen the vote?
I will second that
Okay.
to have a discussion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So to be clear, we're voting on there's been a motion was made by Brian to reopen the vote on the parks resolution, which starts on page 7 and 8. That is what we are voting on. Susan seconded the motion, so now we have this back on the table. So I'll open it up for discussion.
All right, I would ask the chair of the committee to explain the points of the resolution. What does it mean? I don't understand what the resolution points mean.
Well, the points in the whereas. So the where, again, the request, I'll start with the title of the resolution. New York City's Department of Parks and Recreation made a request to utilize the open square fund to finance improvements to the playground and the features around it, in James J. Walker Park. That was the request. The request is to use that money to fix up the playground, the area that is all outside of the Keith Haring Wall and all between the Keith Haring Wall and the ball field. So it's the playground, the pedestrian pathway that runs between the two city streets, the trees, the benches, the pickleball court, the bocce ball court, and the memorial.
Number 3, maybe that needs to be clarified, the boundary to the east. It sort of says it, but it.
Supports the request to utilize, just repeating what that is.
Just because it says the Dapolito Center. And I bring this up because there was confusion from the head of the New York City Parks Department on the board's position with respect to Dapolito in the past. So I think we just need to clarify.
I want to make sure it's clear. This is, and I'll make.
So number 3, it's a little.
I think you just add in supporting this request to utilize the fund. That's what it is, right? It's just copying and pasting that into number 3. For number 1 and number.
Well, hold on a second. I think the language in number 3 speaks to the difference that I'm hearing here. We're saying that this does not include the Dapolito Center proper.
That's exactly right. I'm just trying
So
to.
number 3, it says, and the Dapolito Center.
Yeah.
It should actually say includes the pool and adjacent Keith Haring Wall, but not the Dapolito Center building.
So it's,
Oh, and
when I say this area, when I'm saying this area, I'm referring to the whole Clarkson corridor. What I,
Okay.
yes, that, all right, I see the, so the key here is, well, I can just take out 3.
The 51.
I can take out number 3.
This is nothing to change our position on Dapolito at all, right? This is just talking about the park.
That's it.
Well, that's what I'm afraid of.
But-
It sounds like we're
Help me,
changing
But we
our position.
previously had a position that did not include demolition, and the Parks Department thought we had passed a resolution.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't clear. So
Yeah.
it's like.
All right, so how,
Strike 3.
all right,
on the whereas.
Oh, yeah, strike 3. Coming from elsewhere.
Because it also, because we're also you're mentioning that like the
Yes.
mural and that is further.
right, let me, all right, so all I mean is, you're right, if I strike 3, all I'm saying is the area is the James Day Playground, right? It's just what is, 4 becomes 3.
Yeah.
Right.
Instead of a
Right, and I can take out 5, I don't, but the idea was that this component, no, let's just take it.
And just, and number 4, just add, but does not include the Dapolito.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Mhm.
That's why I brought up, I really do want to make sure this is not. All right.
Okay, I was making a comment on number 3 regarding the therefore be it resolved.
Yeah,
Which was this request, and I would just copy paste what the title of it is,
okay.
right?
Yeah, well,
And then, because the therefore be it resolved is the action we want to take, no? Because I feel like number 1, 2, and 4 are whereases, but I don't know if anyone else feels that way.
Also, I would ask why Chetri expressed opposition to this resolution.
I don't know, she was not, I asked her today for sending something. She was remote at the meeting. She didn't send me anything. I specifically said, if it comes up and someone asks, would you like me to tell you? Sorry. But she was not in the meeting. And I mean, look, Ritu is very thoughtful. I'm not discounting.
Yeah.
But she just, we were trying to write, it was tough. She was just writing.
I would say then with that clarification, we're willing to vote.
So like we're removing number 3 under whereas.
Right, and I'll repeat the
then
title and-
Repeat the title on number 3 of the therefore be it resolved.
Number 4, adding.
Oh, yes, and adding does not include the Dapolito Center.
Number 4 where?
The 4 in the where.
Okay, perfect, okay.
Right.
Now be 3.
Yes, I promise.
Oh, okay, which one?
So everything moves up.
So given all of these changes,
Is everybody clear that we have what the changes are, just so?
yeah, is everyone clear what the
So
changes?
number 3 comes out. Number 4 says does not include the Dappolito Center, the Tony Dappolito Center,
And the whereas,
right? I'm sorry?
and the whereas.
And then the whereas number 3, I'll report this request, the type.
Okay,
No, it's very, that's why I took really a lot of notes on this. I wanted to make
no,
sure.
I know.
Do we want to just, I think, also add just very clearly that the board has a standing position on Dappolito.
I can do that in the whereas.
Because I think that would take away a lot of the skepticism.
Right, I can say in whereas, I can do it as
I
12.
think Brian's right to bring these things up because others would also.
So I can do point, what will be point 11 or point 12, I'm sorry, then the last whereas, I say for clarity. This, the, CB2 Manhattan has,
Established position that we are not altering, that we.
Not in favor of demolition.
You can provide a link, just that
Yeah,
link.
that's even better. Just we have an established position and a link to it.
demolition, and that this has nothing to do with that.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's really why I wanted to bring this up.
Yeah. Thank you, Brian.
Yeah,
Thank you, Rich. Thank you, everyone, for
This
talking
was
this through one more time.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think that'll be good for the elected
You'll have a
officials.
lot
Yeah.
more comfort. There will be much more comfort. with
Yeah,
it.
it'll be better. I can have the conversation with elected officials, with Andrew.
Okay.
Thank
So
you. Thank you for
given,
listening.
thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. So given that, is there any unwillingness to vote on landmarks resolution, page 7 and 8 as amended? All those in favor?
It's not landmarks.
Huh?
Landmarks.
No, it's Parks. Parks. What did I say, landmarks? I'm sorry, parks, sorry. Parks, I have it written here. Any unwillingness to vote on landmarks resolution? Parks, sorry, parks.
One more time.
Parks, I know, I'm out. Parks and Waterfront Committee's resolution on page 7 and 8 of that report.
As amended.
Thank you.
As amended, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Recusal? Thank you, everyone, for your partnership on that. Is there any, there is a report you can read in your packet from Human Services from the June meeting. So thank you to that committee for their continued work on important issues in our committees, in our community. With that, is there any new business anyone would like to bring up? Okay, with that, I'm gonna ask for a motion to,
7:59,
with a
look at
motion
you.
to adjourn. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
And a second from Susan. Thank you
8 o'clock.
so much.
All right.
Now adjourned. Thank you, everyone online, and thank you to Pete, Darlene, and Tiara, and Lynn, and you have Verdery in the. Thank you.